Growing up, I always played basketball. It was my life. In fact, all 4 years of high school, I was on my varsity team. I was one of the key players, and my team really needed me. So when I think back to this time, I think back to one game. We were playing against a rival school. So I spent countless hours in the gym to prepare for it. I watched hour upon hour of video to kind of get an idea who my opponent was, what their trends were, who their key players were, and that way I'd give my team a better chance at winning. Well, I spent so much time preparing for the game that I didn't do what I was supposed to do in school. I kind of slacked in that area. So eligibility day came, and all my grades were good except one. I had a D. But in my mind, and according to the high school, I was still eligible. As long as you didn't have any Fs, you could play. Well, when I told my father I had a D, he thought otherwise. So now, I had to tell my coach and my teammates that I would be watching them play the big game from the stands. Not even the bench, the stands. And my father did that not to be mean, but to show me that if you weren't responsible, you would be punished. And that's how it works. My name's Constantin. Today I'm going to give you an idea of who I am, what has shaped me. The three things that come to mind that make me who I am today are my family, where I've lived, and my career. As with most people, I'm shaped, well, I get my knowledge, my morals, and some of my habits from my family. Now I tell you that story in the beginning of my speech to give you an idea of why I am the way I am, why I'm so responsible, why I do what I'm supposed to do. Because I was always taught from a very young age that if you did not do what you were supposed to do, if you did not live up to your responsibility, you would meet consequences. This is the same thing I try to show my kids today. This is the same way I teach them. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will be punished, that you will meet some kind of consequence. In fact, if I didn't show up to work every day, or if I didn't do what I was supposed to do and I got fired, I wouldn't suffer alone. My wife and my kids would suffer. That's why I'm such a hardworking individual, because I know that my family needs me. Another thing that has shaped me to be who I am today is where I've grown up. Now, my father was in the Air Force, so we lived everywhere. But I got to live overseas, and I've got to see other cultures, other people do what they do, how they live. So I grew up with kind of an advantage over my peers because I appreciated stuff we had here at home. And I also appreciated stuff that people overseas had. So I've always been more diverse over my peers. So I think that's always given me kind of an upper edge to know what it was like outside the box, I guess you would say. And last but not least, I think my career has made me also been a big factor of who I am today. I myself am in the Air Force, and we all know that the military has certain sets of rules. They're very uniform. I guess you'd say they have more rules than somebody outside the military. So I don't just abide by the rules when I'm at work, but I also bring them home with me. And I think in a way I kind of press that on my kids too. I don't make them stand at attention or make their bed in hospital corners, but I kind of have higher expectations for them. So today I've given you an idea of who I am, what has shaped me, and the three things that came to mind were my family, and when I say family I mean my parents and how they raised me, and my wife and kids that make me work so hard today, make me such a hard worker, because I know they'll suffer if I'm not. Where I've grown up, all the places I've lived, and how it's kind of given me an upper edge over my peers who've never even left town. And last but not least, my military career, where it's taken me, and the way that everything is uniform, and again, we kind of have more rules than everybody, which is why I think I have more rules at the house, and why I'm more linear than most people. So everybody's kind of shaped their own way, and this is just how I've always been shaped. Thank you.